My name is Jillian Suarez, and I am a New York City police officer. I started my career in the 9th Precinct, and from the 9th Precinct, I then went to the crime scene unit. I love the crime scene unit. It's a great spot. I generally feel happy there. My favorite part of being a police officer so far is actually helping people. And now being in the crime scene unit, this is something I've always wanted to do since I was younger. I've always loved the forensics field. So now I'm actually completing my dream. My heroes growing up will have to be my mom and dad. My mom, she used to work in a bank, and she's just an overall great person. She's always there for everybody. Anybody calls her, she's running out the house to make sure they're okay. And my dad, he was everything. He was the police officer, he was a dad, he was the teacher, the coach, the boxer. If you heard about him, oh yeah, he taught me how to cook, or he taught me how to do track, or he taught me how to box, or he taught me how to be a police officer. So my mom and my dad definitely were my heroes growing up because they were overall that whole big picture that you always see your parents. My dad, to me, when I was growing up, he was the jokester. It was always me and him being the jokester, always doing jokes with him on my mom, definitely. We will always crack jokes with her. We will always do pranks on her. My dad literally was my best friend. We were two peas in a pod, doing everything together. He was my track coach, so he was always there for me, even for tracking games and stuff like that. So it was always those good memories. On 9/11, I was actually in school. Me and my friends were actually talking about my birthday party because my birthday was 2 days before. So I had just had my birthday party, and we were still talking about it and how much of a good time we were having. And then the room just became quiet, and I had no idea what was going on. We had no idea what was going on. And that day I actually had a play date with a friend of mine to go home over the house to go into the pool. And from there, we were waiting for our parents to pick us up from after school. And that day, actually, they picked us up early, and we looked at each other like, this is weird. They never pick us up early. But as 9-year-olds, you really don't think, okay, anything's happening. They're just picking us up early. So my mom had actually picked me up, and she had tears in her eyes, and I was like, what's wrong? She didn't really tell me anything. So we were just being normal kids, no big deal. Then I had called actually to see where she was going, or actually where she was coming. And so I picked up the phone. And when I picked up the phone, was gonna dial the number, and I heard my mom in the background. And I heard my mom say, they can't find him. They don't know where he is. And I automatically dropped the phone, and I just started praying. I didn't know what was going on. I just heard that my dad wasn't found. Didn't know anything. And then my friend finally came over, and she was like, did you hear what happened? I was like, no. She was like, something happened to the Twin Towers. And I was like, oh my God, my mom on the phone said that my dad's missing. Do you think he's there? She was like, oh no, he's definitely gonna come home. I was like, yeah, you're right, I'll see him later. And I just went about my day. Didn't really think that he was down there. Didn't think that he wasn't never gonna come home. I was just being a normal 9-year-old. It really hit me in December when my mom actually woke me up and told me that they found him, but he wasn't coming home. My mom, between the months of September to December when he was found, one of the strongest people I seen, because she was holding us down as much as she can. She did not want to believe anything. She was being strong. I've never met someone as strong as her. Following 9/11 and those months after, it impacted me in a way that everyone was together. Our family did not separate. We were always there. There was actually always people in our house, always making sure me and my mom were okay. The police department, there was not a time that they weren't checking up on us. And it all kept us close as we were hoping for good news. The first time I heard my dad be referred to a hero, I actually was proud. Not many people have that, sad to say, that someone came up to me and be like, your dad saved my life. And hearing something like that, I couldn't be more proud, because I know my dad and the type of person he was. He was always there for people, and he always wanted to make sure that someone was able to lean on him. And that's exactly what he was doing. He didn't let he made sure those people went home. As I got older, me and my family honored my dad's memory we would always talk about him. For the holidays, we would do his favorite things. For Christmas, he loved Christmas. So we would always make sure, we would have, he always used to dress up as Santa Claus. So we still lived the whole Santa Claus memory alive. Someone in my family would dress up as Santa Claus, and we would do the whole Santa Claus coming and giving us the gifts like he used to. For Thanksgiving, we would always have a big Thanksgiving dinner, always be around each other. My dad used to be really big on birthdays. So, for example, he would always write on the mirrors to happy birthday if he wasn't around. And I would do that for my mom. Little things like that, I would make sure I would say happy birthday, Mom, on the mirror, just like he did for her. Or in the birthday cards, I would be from me and Dad. Always make sure his memory was still there. When I first decided to follow my dad's footsteps, I actually was 9 years old. I always knew I wanted to be something within the law enforcement, either if I wanted to become a lawyer with criminal law or something along those fields. But I definitely wanted to become a police officer for sure when actually everything went about. When they found him, I told myself, I was that's it. I'm going to make sure I follow his footsteps. I'm going to make sure the Suarez name continues. When my mom found out I wanted to become a police officer, at first she was like, are you crazy? And I was like, yes. But I wanted to do it. And I actually didn't listen to her. I was like, hey, I'm signing up. I'm taking the test. That's it. And she was like, I'm not going to stop you. If this is what you want to do, if this is what you dream of, go for it. And she was supportive. I mean, of course, she's scared. And I don't blame her. But at the end of the day, this is what I've always wanted to do. I really hope she's really proud. I really do hope so. But I really do hope that, she's proud of me, and she always supports my dream regardless of what I want to do in the job. When I went through the academy, did I feel any? Yes, I did. I didn't want to let my family down. I didn't want to let my dad's name down in the academy. I wanted to make sure that I went through the academy, and yes, I had obstacles, no doubt about it, but I wanted to make sure I graduated and I had my dad's shield number. When I wear my dad's same shield number, it feels great to know that I have his badge number on me. It's literally carrying his legacy with me. Being my father's daughter, yes, he is his own person, and I am my own person. But being on this job, I want to help people. I want to keep continuing to let people know that there are people there for you, no matter if it's someone in a uniform or someone who's not in a uniform. But being that I am in a uniform, I want people who know that I am in the uniform, that we're not bad people, that we are there for you, and I am willing to help you, and if you need anything, I'm there. And I feel like that's exactly what I want to do in my name. I want to be there for people. I want to help them. I want, if, for instance, being in crime scene unit, I want to give that victim's family closure. And that's when I want to keep continuing. I want to be there for people. I don't want to let nobody down. I understand that feeling. I understand of losing that family member and in an unexpected turn, and you don't know what to do you don't know what to do with yourself. You don't know how to continue living without that person. You don't know what to do. You're lost. So helping families give some type of closure, it makes me feel good inside, because I know that feeling of feeling lost, of what do I do now? It still feels like it's brand new to me. Like, it just happened. There is not a time in my life where I hear 9/11 and all the feelings come back rushing to me. It could be 25 years down the line, but it always feels like an open wound that's never going to be able to close. Me and my family do on the anniversary. We actually go to his old precinct or go to the memorial. We go to the cemetery, and as a family and family, friends, we all come together. We all come together, we all have food, and we all talk about my dad, and we have funny jokes and always be with each other. We talk about his memories and things we do. We pretty much celebrate his life in a way, celebrate him being a hero. It's probably one of a hard day for us, but we always show that we're always there for each other. What I want people to know about my dad was he was an amazing man. He loved doing what he loved being a cop. There was not a time that he did not love being a cop. He loved being there for the people, and it's just amazing to constantly hear, like, your dad did this and he was a great guy. And 25 years later, I'm still hearing stories from other people I've never met before. And it just shows how much of an impact my dad made in his career of being a cop. Being a police officer now, so many people have came up to me like, oh, you're Suarez's daughter. I remember when me and your dad used to do such and such. And hearing these news stories, I'm just like, wow, my dad knew so many people. He was always clearly the jokester, and constantly my favorite thing to hear is he was such a great guy. Oh, I remember your dad's smile. Your dad was a jokester. Your dad did this. Your dad was a great cop. And hearing those stories still down this line 25 years later, I'm still shocked. I'm just like, how many people does my dad know? Does he know the whole police department? Like, how does he know all these people? But it just shows the type of person he was. We have new officers on the job, and they were obviously born after 9/11 or even in 2001. It's definitely important to keep 9/11 alive, because 9/11 was such a big day that impacted the city in so many ways. And obviously our department, that I feel like they should know the impact that that day did on so many people, whether you're on the job now or you're not on the job anymore. And we're still having people who pass away from 9/11 cancer. So it just shows you how much of an impact 9/11 had on so many people. And I feel like now this new generation should definitely not forget that day. Like, they definitely should look more into the heroes of that day, the people who helped, and they should definitely make sure, like they say, you should not forget 9/11. Keeping my father's memory alive, actually, it means so much to me, because someone actually came up to me and they were like, it's great to still hear Suarez at roll call. And hearing that made me feel so good inside, because it just shows you that my dad's name is still being carried. And I want to keep carrying the name. I want to keep doing good with the name. And I don't want to let that name drop. I want to keep being good. I want to be my father's daughter.